Imagine a rivalry so intense that it shook an entire city to its core. Two of Memphis' biggest rap icons embroiled in a feud that went far beyond music. Yo Gotti and Young Dolph, two giants of Southern hip-hop, weren't just competing for the top spot. Their beef turned deadly. But what really happened between them? Was it just about music, or was there something darker simmering beneath the surface? From diss tracks to violent confrontations, this wasn't just a typical rap feud. This was street business Memphis style. And when the bullets started flying, the whole world took notice. The rap world is no stranger to high-profile beefs, but the feud between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph stands out as one of the most explosive and dangerous in recent memory. What began as a rivalry over music and status quickly escalated into something much more sinister, with tensions spilling out into the streets of Memphis. Both artists, known for their gritty, real-life lyrics, painted vivid pictures of their rise from the city's tough neighborhoods. But behind the flashy lifestyles and chart-topping hits, a deeper, darker conflict was brewing. Was this all just part of the rap game, or was there a deadly game of power and control being played out behind the scenes? In this story, we'll unravel the events that led to their violent confrontations and explore the untold truths of a feud that took a tragic turn. Setting the scene: Memphis, Tennessee, home to blues, soul, and a gritty brand of Southern hip-hop that echoes the city's tough streets. The rise of Yo Gotti and Young Dolph from the heart of this urban landscape was a testament to their hustle and talent. Both men came from humble beginnings, grinding their way to the top through sheer determination and an unapologetic portrayal of life in Memphis. Yo Gotti, known for his sharp delivery and street credibility, had long been a dominant figure in the Southern rap scene. With hit records and a growing empire, he was the king of Memphis, respected both in the industry and on the streets. But then came Young Dolph, a self-made artist who refused to bow to industry norms. Dolph's independent hustle and defiant attitude made him a rising star, capturing the attention of fans and challenging the status quo. He wasn't just another rapper, he was a disruptor, and Memphis was his playground. However, as Dolph's star began to rise, so did tensions with Yo Gotti. The city streets began buzzing with rumors of animosity between the two, and it wasn't long before the rivalry became public. At first, it seemed like a typical rap beef: diss tracks, public shade, and social media jabs. But in Memphis, where the line between music and street life is razor thin, this feud was about to escalate in ways no one expected. What started as a clash of egos quickly morphed into something far more dangerous. The public could sense the tension brewing, but few knew just how deep the rift between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph had grown. The first major shot fired came in the form of a diss track, Young Dolph's "Play With Yo Bitch," a scathing takedown aimed directly at Yo Gotti. In the track, Dolph didn't just question Gotti's credibility, he humiliated him on a personal level, airing out sensitive details and taking the beef to a place that wasn't easily recoverable. But what most people didn't know is that behind the music, a real-life power struggle was unfolding. Rumors swirled that Gotti had once tried to sign Dolph to his label, CMG, but Dolph refused, wanting to maintain his independence. Was the tension rooted in business? Or was it personal from the start? As Dolph's star continued to rise, it was clear that Memphis wasn't big enough for both of them. Then, things took a darker turn. In February 2017, Young Dolph's SUV was targeted in a hail of gunfire while he was in Charlotte, North Carolina for CIA weekend. The vehicle was riddled with over 100 bullets, but miraculously, Dolph walked away unscathed. The bulletproof SUV had saved his life. While many speculated who was behind the attack, Dolph wasted no time adding fuel to the fire. He dropped his album Bulletproof just weeks later, with songs that taunted his enemies and even referenced the shooting. Behind the scenes, law enforcement started keeping a close eye on the situation. The streets were talking, and names were being thrown around. Some even pointed fingers at members of Yo Gotti's crew. Just a few months later, another violent confrontation rocked the hip-hop world. This time, Dolph was shot multiple times in broad daylight outside a Hollywood hotel. He survived, but the message was clear. This wasn't just about music anymore. Yet, even in the face of escalating violence, both artists stayed quiet about the true nature of their feud. No one knew what was coming next, but it was clear that this was no longer just a rap beef. The stakes were life and death, and Memphis was caught in the middle of it all. The world was left asking, what could possibly come next? Then came the moment that shocked not only Memphis, but the entire hip-hop community, the tragic day of November 17, 2021. Young Dolph, the indomitable artist who had survived countless threats and attacks, was gunned down in broad daylight outside of Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a beloved local bakery in his hometown of Memphis. He had been a frequent customer there, often stopping by to support local businesses, but this time his visit would end in tragedy. Multiple gunmen opened fire, leaving Dolph lifeless on the ground. In an instant, Memphis lost one of its brightest stars, and the question that haunted everyone was, who was behind this brutal attack? The streets exploded with rumors. Some pointed directly at Yo Gotti's camp, reigniting speculation that the long-standing feud had finally reached its fatal conclusion. Others whispered about different players in the game, suggesting that Dolph's independence and success had made him too powerful, too uncontrollable for certain forces in Memphis. As the police investigation unfolded, questions only multiplied. Why was Dolph, a man who had survived multiple assassination attempts, left so vulnerable that day? Was this an organized hit, or was it something deeper, possibly linked to the web of enemies he had made over the years? In the days following Dolph's death, tensions in Memphis were at an all-time high. Fans mourned the loss of a rapper who had given so much back to his community, while the city's underground rumbled with the possibility of revenge. Just hours after Dolph's murder, reports surfaced that Yo Gotti's restaurant Prive was put on high alert for possible retaliation. The entire city was on edge, as many feared that this high-profile killing could spark an all-out street war. Yo Gotti, meanwhile, remained eerily silent, as did the rest of his camp. No statements, no interviews, nothing. The absence of any clear explanation left the public grasping for answers. Was this a tragic consequence of a years-long feud finally reaching its boiling point, or were there other forces at play? As the investigation progressed, people waited, wondering if the truth about who killed young Dolph and why would ever be revealed. In the aftermath of young Dolph's murder, the city of Memphis and the wider hip-hop community were left grappling with more questions than answers. Authorities eventually arrested suspects tied to the shooting, but the deeper mystery of why Dolph was targeted that day lingers. Was it simply the culmination of his rivalry with Yo Gotti, or were there other, unseen forces at play in the city's underground? While the arrest brought some closure, the tension between the two camps had already left a lasting scar on Memphis. As time passed, Yo Gotti distanced himself from the accusations, continuing to build his empire, while young Dolph's legacy grew larger in depth. His contributions to music, his philanthropy, and his unwavering independence became symbols of resilience in the face of adversity. But the tragedy leaves us wondering, how far can a feud go before it crosses the line between music and real-life consequences? As fans, we celebrate the success of these artists. But at what cost? The story of Yo Gotti versus Dolph serves as a reminder. Sometimes, the battles we don't see are the ones that cut the deepest. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Memphis is Memphis.